Number 10, Cam Bolander. Courageous. Always ready and willing to come across the middle as a wide receiver, to block anybody. Certainly the courage to return punts in the face of 10 or 11 guys screaming down the field at you. Cam Bolander is courageous. Also courageous enough to try to outdance Coach T in a pop and lock contest. Number 80, Daniel Bonnet. When I think of Daniel, I think of the word desire. Daniel's a young man that had great desire to play the game of football, to practice the game of football, and certainly to be the best teammate that he could be for his teammates. Desire, Daniel Bonnet. Number 77, Jack Carroll. Versatility. Jack is one of those guys that could play multitude of positions, whether it be nose or the 3 technique or the 5 technique on defense, and do it with equal competence. And then, of course, he could go over to the offensive side of the ball and play guard or tackle or perhaps even center and do a great job. So Jack was extremely versatile for our football team. Number 3, Reggie Corbin. Dynamic. Reggie was a dynamic football player with a dynamic personality. Could light up a room in the same way that he could light up the football field with a big play at any time of the game, whether it be with his feet or his hands. Reggie was a dynamic football player. Dynamic Reggie Corbin. Number 25, Alex Davis. Positivity. Alex was always a young man with a positive attitude, bright eyes, great smile, guy that's going to come to work every day and really affect others around him with his positivity. Never down, never negative, always positive attitude with Alex Davis. Number 55, DeAndre Easterling. Explosive. DeAndre is an explosive player, outstanding pass rusher, coming off the edge after quarterbacks, but also explosive in the run game, an explosive kickoff cover person, explosive smile that DeAndre has. DeAndre Easterling is an explosive human being. Number 52, Aaron Elder. Determined. Aaron, maybe not the biggest for the position that he played, but certainly played with a tremendous amount of determination, and that is what allowed him to be successful throughout his senior year. And certainly Aaron's determination allowed him to be a big part of our defense in our championship run. Determined, Aaron Elder. Number 40, Sean Fitzgerald. Passionate. Sean's passion is evident. His passion for being a great teammate to his fellow teammates, his passion for Gonzaga, his passion for football, whether it's in the weight room, on the practice field, or on the game field. There's no doubt this young man's passion for wearing the purple. Passionate. Sean Fitzgerald. Number 14, Connor Gray. Reliable. Connor's a young man that will always be counted on to do his job and to do his job well, whether that was on offense as a tight end or on special teams. One thing that you could always count on was number 14 doing his job with great effort and competence. Reliable, Connor Gray. Number 2, Jabari Greenwood. Competitive. Jabari is a fierce competitor, whether it was challenging a teammate in the tug competition or going after an opposing defensive back in the passing game or in the run game. Jabari was an intense and extreme competitor. Competitive, Jabari Greenwood. Number 9, Nate Hiley. Commitment. Nate, regardless of his physical ailment, he was always committed to being the best he could be, whether it was the way he practiced, the way he trained, or the way he played the game. Nate extremely committed to his craft and to his teammates. Commitment. Nate Hiley. Number 66, Griffin Jackson. Relentless. The position Griffin plays, Griffin wasn't necessarily the heaviest guy, but certainly he was a guy that had a tremendous motor that you could start up and it would never stop, and he was a relentless competitor at his position on the offensive line. Number 5, Nick Johns. Steadfast. Nick Johns was steadfast in his leadership, steadfast with his toughness, steadfast in his commitment to Gonzaga football. As a quarterback, there's very few qualities that are more important than being steadfast in the face of adversity, and that is what Nick Johns was to the Eagles. Number 8, Rashawn Jones. Instinctive. Rashawn is blessed with natural instincts to play the game of football, as he routinely made plays on the defensive side of the ball as well as the special teams versus our opponents, and was a high impact player due to having great natural instincts. Instinctive, Rashawn Jones. Number 15, Noah King. Resourceful. Noah is a player that, whether it be preparing practice, whether it be in games where he played a critical role for us, regardless of his limitations of size or whatever they may be, he's the kind of player that finds a way to win, finds a way to succeed, finds a way to get the job done. Noah King, resourceful. Number 21, Connor Lazis. Trustworthy. One of the most important things in football is being a player that can be trusted by his team. Connor Lazis was a guy that could plug in on defense or any special team, and you knew that he was going to do his job, do it with great effort, and do it well. Trustworthy, Connor Lazis. Number 1, Marcus Lewis. Talented. Very few players around boast the talent level of one Marcus Lewis, and speed, explosiveness, certainly big play ability that he showed throughout the year. Talented Marcus Lewis. Number 34, Carl Malate. Dependable. Carl's a young man that his teammates in the program could always depend on to do his job and to do his job well. Great focus and care, attention to detail made him a dependable Eagle. Dependable, Carl Malate. Number 26, Obi Banefo. Diligent. Obi's a hard-working player, always trying to get better at what he was doing, whether it was playing receiver or playing defensive back, and certainly playing on the special teams. He was diligent worker, preparing himself, preparing his teammates to be the best that he could be. Diligent, Obi Banefo. Number 27, Sammy Morrison. Enthusiastic. Sammy's enthusiasm, infectious. You can see it in his body language. You can see it in the way that he played the football game. His enthusiasm was one that was a catalyst for his teammates and our program and our success in the field, coming from Sammy's great enthusiasm. Number 74, Richie Pettibone. Charismatic. Richie's got a magnetic personality and magnetic ability, and that his teammates love to be around him. They love to play alongside him. They love to run behind him. Love to be protected by him. Richie's charisma shines through with his demeanor and his ability. Charismatic, Richie Pettibone. Number 11, Luke Prominski. Resilient. Luke Prominski is a multi-talented young man that dealt with a very unique ailment this season, but was tremendously resilient in fighting through the obstacles and ending up having a great finish to his season as well as to our season. Luke's resiliency was really representative of our football team in many ways. Number 30, Nigel Robinson. Productive. Many people may look at Nigel and say maybe he's just not big enough, maybe he's not tall enough, but boy, all he does is produce. He can tackle, he can run, he can catch, he can do all the things that need to be done to be a productive football player. And that's exactly what Nigel Robinson was, a producer for our football team. Number 42, David Smith. Persistent. David Smith is the type of player that keeps coming at you. The position he plays on the defensive line is persistent versus the offensive lineman trying to block him, but is also persistent in his quest to be the best that he can be with his preparation and his training. David Smith, persistent. Number 54, Sean Spalacy, consistent. Sean Spalacy played the vast majority of his plays right in the middle of the offense as the center, and he was extremely consistent performer for our offense. Could always depend on Sean to do his job right there in the center, right there in the middle of the offensive line. Consistency for Spalacy. Number 4, Luke Vassos, toughness. Luke Vassos, the epitome of toughness, whether it was in the weight room, the practice field, or in the games, regardless of how many blows that he delivered or were being delivered against him, he was always going to forge through with great toughness, representative of his teammates. Toughness, Luke Vassos.